How's it going, Brian?
All right. What episode number is this? Is this 14 or 15, right?
This is 15.
This is wild, man. This year is flying by. This whole season has gone by so fast. But man, welcome to episode 15 of Chasing the Pack with Brian and Dusty, or Dusty and Brian, whatever.
Yeah,
Um,
whichever.
it's okay. I don't mind going. You know what? I don't mind going second, unless it's a race. I want to win that. Then I want to be first. But
Well, I think my thought process was Brian and Dusty just because alphabetical. Well, I don't know. Seemed logical at the time. So,
still does.
yeah, how's your week?
Oh, good. Just busy, busy, running a lot of running around. You? What's going on in your neck of the woods?
Oh, just busy getting ready for Flyer this weekend. I'm gonna be flying the drone
Oh.
there, and then as soon as I get done with that, I head home. I edit videos, upload that, and head to Lake City to start mowing a course for districts next Tuesday.
Your double district.
Double
Yep.
districts. So, but yeah. So I, as people can see on the screen, we have a picture of official that I have known since I was 21 years old. I'm now 42. So for over 20 years. Um, so I started timing when I was, 21 and pretty young. I consider that pretty young. You? No? Maybe?
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, you're still young. I'm young. I'm not old.
So well, that's debatable on my end, not yours. But
Wow.
yeah. So I've known Derek for a very long time. Had the opportunity and privilege of hanging out with him at multiple events all over the state of Florida. And I hired him as my official to start at some cross country meets and help me at track meets. And um, just really had a good friendship. And unfortunately, he passed away this past week on October the 25th. So, we'd kind of like to just leave this up kind of as we talk about different items today. We will be switching over with a couple different frames, but if everybody can just keep the Monroe family in their prayers, we'd appreciate that. Um, if you Google search Derek Monroe, they actually do have a spot where you can send like a nice letter, or if you want to send flowers, they have that up as well. I'll comment that in the. I'll put a link in the comments, and that way everybody that would like to send something to his family could do so. Um, but a little bit of a sad note. He will be missed. Like I said, he was a great official and a good friend. But not to not make this a happy week because there was a lot of good performances this past weekend at FSU.
Yeah, crazy. A lot of the teams we had ranked, they faced off against each other. I think all of them probably did, to be honest with you. I guess there's some surprises. I mean, IMG. We just got done talking about how loaded they are, and I don't know if they ran everybody or not, or what happened, but both on the boys and women's side, the girls side, they I think believe that they lost to respective teams. So
Yep.
kind of
Yep.
kind of had to switch up the rankings. Got to and to your credit, everybody will see this if they go to the website. Dusty has created this very cool interactive tile feature with the rankings where they flip and they give you information about who they've run against, and they make noise and they cheer and they get excited, and it's just wild. It's really crazy what he did with it.
I don't know about all the cheering stuff, but we did
He's
work
added.
pretty hard on it. So hopefully everybody enjoys it. You can go to runflorida.com and we do have that feature up now. We're still working on it. It is a work in progress. Um, but yeah, I mean, a lot of really great performances. And like you said, I think all the teams were there. Um, but I'm not quite sure. You said something that surprised me there. I'm just going to double check this. Yeah, okay. So that's what I thought. So the boys, IMG boys, they may have fallen off the top spot, but the girls they were still number one. Uh, they
Okay.
they did win the elite race. Manny had me double checking that. I was just like, "Oh, I think I remember that,
I
but
was trying to keep you in suspense. I was trying to keep you in suspense.
yeah. Hey, I like being on my toes. So let's just go into it. The girl rankings. I did make a little flyer again, just like we have in the past few weeks. But you can also see these same rankings on the runflorida.com website. And if you click on them, they actually spin around and it shows the top five scores on the team and what places they finished. So I hope you guys like that little feature. But yeah, so IMG, they stay where they're at. Bishop Kenny second, Creekside third. Creekside moved up several spots. We had them a little further down. Childs moved up. I think Ponte Vedra and Spanish River kind of stayed where they were at. Um, Satellite, they popped into the top 10. So
Oh,
great performance by them. And from what it looked like, I wasn't there, but from what it looked like, the weather conditions were great for a good race. So,
yep,
um,
definitely.
and, and then the boys are just running blazing times this year. Like I can't believe how fast they're running.
Yeah, it's
Um,
crazy.
yeah. So are you guys were trying to recruit anybody with University of Tampa, like top 10, or are you guys working on a couple of other athletes?
We got a couple of guys that we've talked to. I mean, we got a guy from South Carolina who's very fast. He's coming next year, and then we one guy he ran 15:59 at pre-states. He's committed. So a
Okay.
couple of guys, but not a ton. Not definitely none of the guys in the top
Top 10.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, those guys all want to go D1. I think
Yeah,
they're all
probably
pretty
so.
set on that.
Probably so. All right, so here's the guys. Berlin moves into that number one spot. ING drops to number four, and Buchholz moved up. Oviedo, we had them like I think ninth or tenth last week, and like they came out of nowhere. I good for them. I did not have them on my radar till a week before, and then this week they just showed up.
Hmm.
And but it was kind of cool. Like we did have most everybody. Um, I'd say 90% of the ranking that we had. It was close, but like Geneva Classical School, they popped into the top 10. Nice popped in the top 10. So good to see new teams up there and showing out when it counts.
Oh yeah,
And now they get either a week off or they're gonna do something probably ease off training a little bit, get ready for districts, region, and state. But a lot of good stuff with the rankings. Um,
I think is it Geneva Classical? Where's that at?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know. I have to look that up.
I think that's the one too. They're another school that's not able to run.
Is
They're
it?
not. They're not in the FHSA. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm looking it up now.
Okay.
Yeah, because they're loaded. They have an eighth grader, I think, on their top. Excuse me, their top three. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's another one. So that's two schools. Wow, it's wild.
Okay. Yeah, that is wild. But you know, that's their choice, and that's cool too. So I mean, not knocking it. We're still working on some things, trying to get some of these coaches on, just kind of talk about it and why they do things different, just to kind of get that side of it. We haven't nailed down a date because they're busy coaching, so I get it. Um, but yeah, so moving on past the rankings, what else you got?
Well, I think we're going on to districts, right? We got to get ready for that. I mean, you just talked about that briefly with your double district next week, but I think they start Tuesday, don't they? Start Monday or Tuesday next week. I think.
I think you're allowed to have a meet on Monday. Um, I think, but I know
Okay.
mine's on Tuesday, so I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
think there's one on Tuesday I'm going to go to, and then there's another one on Wednesday.
yeah,
So
Alligator Lake Park is actually closed on Mondays. That's like the one day a week it's closed, so that they can go and clean it up, mow it, all that good stuff, pick everything up. Um, but I found out. So they moved the online entry date. It was like yesterday or today, and they moved it to November the 1st, which I think is what, Friday?
Saturday.
Or
Saturday.
is it?
Yeah, because Halloween's Friday.
Yeah, you're right. Which is wild. I don't know if they asked the timers about that, because that's not a lot of time to get ready if you have a Tuesday district. Um, but super excited about that. Advancements from districts to regions. I like the way they're doing it now. Like I kind of am jealous of it because we did it different when I ran. I think it was a little bit different when you ran, but
That was way
right.
different.
Yeah. So now with the essentially they're doing a double district within a district. So I have like 20 teams per district that's coming. So we have like 40 teams coming to to a district meet. Um, but eight placing teams. and the top four placing individuals not on a team. And I think that's pretty cool. That way you get the top eight teams from your district out of the 20, and and then the individuals that may be pretty good, but their team's not top eight, they still get to advance on as well. Um, yeah, so I still wouldn't want to be though in the Jacksonville district with Episcopal, Bishop Kenny, Bulls. Um, I can't remember. There's like six teams that are stacked in that district, so that's gonna be a tough district to get out of.
Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
should be fun to watch it all unfold, and we'll have some highlights here and there, some pictures and stuff loaded on our website. But
It
yeah,
used to be the Orlando districts.
it
those
was.
those Orlando districts were crazy back when I was running.
Yep.
Boone and Dr. Phillips and all those teams were loaded.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Um, and then something that I wanted to kind of just see what people's opinion were. So feel free to comment and let us know what you think. But when I ran, it was seven. You could run seven, five scored, two displacers, seven at district, seven at region, seven at state. Every year, because there's such a high turnover of coaches in different areas, every year at the district level, there's always a confusion of how many are we allowed to run? Because during the season, you can run 10, and now at districts, you can run 10, but then at regions and state, you can only run seven. So I don't know if that's just more confusing or if we should just pick a number and like stick with it. Like, you got any feelings on this? Any opinion?
This goes back to the whole district thing. I'll try not to go on a tangent, but districts, regionals, states is all the same when I was in high school. It's the top six teams from your districts, top 15 individuals automatically went no matter what. It was very straightforward. Same thing with regionals, top six. The only way it ever changed, I think, was if it was top eight if you had more than 14 teams in your district or something crazy like that. Which
Right,
again, the Orlando districts and the Miami districts or whatever. But it was only eight districts like it is now. It was so straightforward. Everybody knew who made it. And then when I started coaching, it was the same, but they doubled the district size. It was like
hmm,
this the year I started the year I think 2 years after I left high school, the year I started coaching, they went to 16 districts. They were all tiny. They were like they were like six teams. So only top three teams made it unless you had seven teams and then four teams. It was like, okay, still top 15 individuals. And then now they changed it for track where it's not top four anymore out of regionals. And I think they're going to do the same thing in track where it's only top two and then a bunch of at large. But it's so confusing. It's so weird. That's top four individuals and that's it now. I mean, same thing with the 10 thing because when I was coaching, I think my last year was the first year they had 10 you could run at districts. So we ran 10, but then you get to regionals and it's just seven again.
right,
So you're carrying the three alternates, which is fine, but it's so confusing to change numbers every week for something. I don't even know so much about the turnover. I mean, I'm not a high school coach anymore. I mean, I coach in college. I have no idea until I read your thing that you sent me how you made the states anymore. I gave up a long time ago trying to figure it out because every couple of years it changes
right,
and it's more confusing and convoluted the more time goes along. Same thing with how many people can run and who does what and they don't run at regionals and then again the qualifying for track thing is just bizarre. It's like top four from everything used to make it. It was very straightforward
right,
and then obviously schools in Miami and up north got upset because they had guys running faster and they changed it. But now you have to look at all the results at the same time and try to figure out who's qualified and who hasn't. It's just, gosh, it's just stressful. But yeah, I feel like at some point you need to try to make everything uniform and like it's either seven at districts and regionals and states and that's it. And you have alternates like we used to have. We used to do that. I don't
right,
know if you had a big enough team, you had one or two alternates. You didn't have three maybe, but
right.
um,
Well, so I think what it stemmed from, and this is just going back a few years, and so just so everybody understands how this works, it's while the FHSA makes the final decision on that kind of stuff, it's the committee that makes these suggestions on rule changes. So, when the committee members change, it kind of changes with how they feel. You know what I'm saying? So, it's not 100% the FHSA making these changes, but what I saw happening is I kept having, when I would host districts, I kept having coaches say, "Hey, can you have an open race right afterwards? Because we want our eighth, ninth, tenth,
Yes,
11th, 12th,
correct.
13th kid to be able to run to see who makes it to region." And at the time, I was a timer. I wasn't a coach, and in my opinion, by the time you get to districts, whoever your top seven is your top seven. And if they've proven that in the last race, that should be your ones to go. Now you still keep an eighth, a ninth, and a tenth at practice, so that should a kid get sick or should somebody get hurt, then they can move up. But now we've moved to this. We run 10 at districts because that's what they all wanted. A lot of the larger teams, so that they can then pick their seven from that. Well, then what happens is these teams that maybe not have as experienced coaches are then running an eighth and a ninth at regionals because they didn't know, and then they're getting disqualified.
Mm,
So, because I've had that happen. I'll sit there and I'll look at the results. I'm like, why does this team have eight or nine runners finishing? Like they are only allowed to run seven. So then they get disqualified.
mm,
So that just falls back to the confusing part. And I didn't know this until I actually looked it up today. I was just like, what do the major championships do? Like what do the world championships do? What does USA Track and Field do? So the world championships, they run eight athletes and only four score,
mm.
which I thought was kind of weird and different because we're always used to five. But I don't understand why football, baseball, soccer, from the time you're six till the time you're a professional, you know, other than like soccer, the field size change, the rules are the same from here to here. But we don't do that in track or cross country. Like it's not uniform. And
No.
I think that's what hurts us globally with an audience is it's just not the same across the board. Um, I
Yeah,
don't have. Go ahead.
no, I agree to some extent. I also think, it being a minor sport and track, I mean, even track still being a minor sport, you know, a lot of people come from other sports to here and they don't have that experience. I remember when I was coaching at Plant, I mean, everybody came from baseball or lacrosse or something, right? We were everybody's like doormat sport. It was a sport, you couldn't
Right.
do anything else, you ran. So
Right.
I just don't think the attentiveness, even now as the sport has grown, obviously all these kids are fast and it's cool. I don't think it really matters to people that much if it changes year in and year out because they're just going to run. As much as frustrating as it is as a coach and also as a spectator, because I'm trying to figure out, who the heck qualified, who does what. It's wild. For the average parent, they don't know what's going on. They're just like, my kid ran districts. Like, oh great, they got
True.
50th place, their team made it, and I don't know how, but they're going. Like, they finished. So I
Right.
just don't know that it really matters that much because again, I remember I'll never forget you talk about your I can't even imagine like going to regionals and getting disqualified, right? But I remember distinctly there was a school in Hillsborough County that they'd never made it to states before. They made it to regionals. First time they ever made it to regionals. They go to regionals the night before. We're in a stereo. They're in the hotel. Their coach comes up to our high school coach and he says, "Yeah, it's tough, man. It's gonna be a tough day tomorrow." And what's going on? You mean like you made it to regionals? He's like, "Yeah, well, my number two guy, and number five guy forgot their uniforms." It's like, man, how do you make it to regionals and do that,
Right.
right? Like we say that, we laugh about it. Like, okay, the same school 6 months later, regionals in track, 4x8, never made it to regionals before, right? They make it to regionals, and that was when you had to be top four. And our district was crazy. It was us and Jesuit and Berkeley, and they were all loaded back then. And they made it, and they were excited, and they got there, and they were all wearing different uniforms, and they got disqualified.
Right.
And it's like, man, how do you do that? But again, I think again, it being a minor sport and people not paying attention. If it was baseball or football, everybody would wear the same thing, right? It wouldn't be a question. Like everybody would
Right.
wear the exact same. I think people just go, oh, they're running. All they're doing is
Yeah.
running, right? Like who cares what they really look like? I really
Right.
think that kind of that apathy feeds into it more than anything. But it'd be great if it all was even. Like I said, for me, because I gave up. Like I said, trying to figure it out, and if it has this many teams go. If not, and four individuals, it's like they're not on the team that makes it. It's a lot of math. I don't know. Top 15 was just straightforward. It was like if you're not a
Right.
top 15 individual, all right, if you're 16th, you didn't make it. If you're not a top 16, you didn't make it. Now it's like again, you got to go from one region to the other, look at results. All right, who did? It's just
Well, that's
hard.
in track. I mean, it's a little different cross country, like,
Sure, but
but I mean, I am glad because there was one year where several districts, the entire district qualified for regions. So I had kids like walking a 50-minute race at regions. And there's nothing wrong with those athletes. I'm glad that they're out there participating. But districts, region, and state, in my opinion, is for crowning a winner individually and a winner team wise. So it's at that point you know, we kind of move on to, you know, more competitive races. Um, but anyway, that's my 2 cents on it. I'm sure we'll hear some feedback, which we would love some feedback on what everybody thinks. So make sure to comment on all of our social media posts with it and on here. And that's all I got for this week, Brian. You got anything else?
another beautiful episode. No, you crushed it as usual. You crushed it, and again, to Derek Monroe and his family, just praying and thinking about them as they go through this tough time. But you know, I never really met, got to know him or anything. Obviously, I saw him around a lot, but he was so involved in the sport and such a big, figure amongst the sport. It's very sad.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I will say this: I do think that he like led a pretty great life, so that's awesome.
Yeah,
Like I said, many of stories he told me, and they were always awesome to listen to. So I'll always appreciate that time with him.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, man. Well, as always, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll see you next week.
All right, hey, have a great one, Dusty.
You too, man. See ya.
All right, see ya.